Download the My Hingham app today and report issues and get information on town government with ease. Available on the App Store and Google Play. You can submit service requests or gain information with just a few taps on your phone. Using the My Hingham app puts immediate access to town resources in the palm of your hand, including calendars of meetings and events, agendas for upcoming meetings, building permit filing options, online bill payment options, and info about our boards, committees, departments, and services. For more information, please scan the QR code on your screen.
Okay, I will call to order this meeting of the Select Board at 4:01 p.m. This meeting is being held in person and/or remotely as an alternate means of public access pursuant to Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2025 and all other applicable laws temporarily amending certain provisions of the open meeting law. You are hereby advised that this meeting and all communications during this meeting may be recorded by the Town of Hingham in accordance with the open meeting law. If any participant wishes to record this meeting, please notify the chair at the start of the meeting in accordance with Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 20F, so that the chair may inform all other participants of said recording. Is anyone on recording? Seeing none, I will note for the record participating today as Julie Straley and myself, Liz Klein, acting as chair. Bill Ramsey is not with us today. Next on the agenda is joint executive session with the Personnel Board under Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A3 to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining with Hingham Police Patrolmen's Association and Hingham Police Superior Officers Union, MCOP Local 405.
So I think we'll first go in executive session, and then I know there's some other folks on the line, and then we'll come back into this, and Sam's going to keep the Zoom open. That just notes that we'll be in executive session. The other one's in a different account.
Okay, got it. So before I entertain a motion to go into executive session under item 2 of the agenda, I hereby declare that discussion of this agenda item in an open session may have a detrimental effect on the bargaining position of the public body. I'll make should I make the motion or have Julie do it?
Either way.
Okay. All right, I'll do it. I'll make a motion to enter executive session under Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A3 to conduct strategy with respect to collective bargaining with Hingham Police Patrolmen's Association and Hingham Police Superiors Officers Union, MCOP Local 405. The board will reconvene in open session.
Second.
Roll call vote. Julie?
Aye.
And I'm an aye as well. We will move into executive session. Thank you.
So I was like, what is a panelist?
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we are returning to open session. Next on the agenda is potential vote to sign the memorandum of agreement with the Hingham Police Patrolmen's Association.
I do, if I can, Liz, maybe suggest we do both at the same time because in the MOA with both the Hingham Patrol Officer Association and Hingham Superior Officers.
Okay, let me just read that agenda item number 5. It's the potential vote to sign the memorandum of agreement with the Police Superior Officers Union, MCOP Local 405.
Okay, thanks. Thank you, Liz and everybody. So before we get started, I know a couple of folks are here. I do want to put a thank you to all those who are involved. So for the Patrolmen's Association, I know Ryan Ross, Officer Ross was the president of the Patrolmen's Association, and Dan Murphy, Heather Hamida, Griffin Moriarty, Kim Navieu, and Kevin Nguyen. And for the Superiors Officers Union, John Marquardt, who's here, was the president, Nick Smith, vice president, Brian Fernandez, and Matt Lucas. But also want to thank the town's participants. I think Chief Jones and I were in both bargaining teams. Karen Johnson and Lynn Carroll from the Personnel Board participated, as well as Michelle Montegur, Art Roberts, and Lisa Campbell from Town Hall. And I also thank, as mentioned earlier, John Asher for spending at least and giving us at least 2 weekends, if not more, of his time to help us through this and looking at the financials and the models involved in all of this. So I just want to thank everybody who was involved in the process. So, and thank you. I thought it'd be easier to do both contracts, to talk about them both at the same time because they're very similar. The negotiations with both the patrol officers and the superior officers went pretty parallel from a time perspective. And I think the ultimate memorandums of agreement are pretty similar in their approach and the terms. So it's kind of easy probably to talk about them both as one, if then vote on them separately, perhaps. And I also just wanted to know, again, the negotiations were very collaborative, very respectful, and fortunately very solution oriented, I would say. It was really not sitting there on either side of the table, in particular for the union members. It wasn't really just about money, it wasn't just show me the money. It was about trying to think through and do what's right for the police department, the force, the town, and just find that best solution. And do want to recognize that I think the officers are all very proud to be members of the Hingham Police Department, as we are proud of them. It's a great force, and are proud to represent Hingham as well. So, and I think, we all wanted to, and I think they really wanted to continue to be one of the best departments to work in. I think they have a lot of respect for the leadership in the town. And I think we had some challenges that we needed to work through to kind of make sure that continues. And so just want to acknowledge all those who were involved in just the process itself, which went very well, which doesn't always happen. So that's good. I think, throughout the negotiations, we probably had similar objectives on both sides of the table. One was full staffing. For as long as I can remember now, the department's been understaffed by at least, 4, 5, 6 people around, and that's put some stress on others in the department. And so to get to full staffing, we needed to focus on recruiting and retaining officers, getting folks in the door and keeping them more than a year or two. And then, once they're in here, keeping them moving through, both those who have been here for a year or two, those who have been here for 5 to 10 years, and those who've been here longer, but keeping them within the department for that period of time. And I think, we had some unique challenges. I think policing, quote unquote, policing has changed. The way that, the roles and responsibilities of officers have changed. And I think the marketplace, if you will, for police officers or law enforcement officers has changed too. It's getting a lot, less people may be going in and more opportunities in other places. And so it required us to look at things a little differently and dive a little more deeply into how the structure of the compensation that we've had to in the past. So anyways, and I do again want to thank the officers for their honesty and their passion in the way they approach this. And I think Karen, Lynn, myself, Chief, and the others, the deputies who were also involved, did a lot of listening, which is always a good thing in these settings. So with that, I'll get to some of the deal points, if you will. And as I said, we made some significant structural changes in the way the compensation is done, and we felt it was necessary to kind of really address the retention and recruitment and kind of really maintain the police force the way we want it. And we've always been proud to have in Hingham. So the first thing is it's a 3-year deal. It'll go through June 30th, 2027. We're already into the first year of the deal. So this past year is really retroactive to July 1st, 2024. It took us some time to get through to a deal. As with other employees and town unions, there's a 3% COLA each year, 3% increase, cost of living increase each year. There was a small equity adjustment of about 1% for the lieutenants in the force to keep them above the median in our 20-town comparison that we do. One of the more structural changes we made had to do with the Quinn or educational incentive to officers, which is their benefit they get for having an associate's, bachelor's, and master's degree, and an additional bump in their base pay. I think Hingham was kind of one of the first towns, if my memory serves me right, back 10 plus years ago to actually guarantee the full Quinn benefit to our officers as part of collective bargaining. We're in the first towns to do that. And I say we're probably not the first, but among the first towns now to extend that benefit and include it excuse me, include it in their base pay for purposes of overtime, shift differential, and details. So it's really recognizing that this is, in a sense, their pay. And I think it does a lot to help recognize those who've gone on to, further their education and encourage more to further their education, which has always been a big, important thing for the town to have an educated and well-educated police force. And I think it's reflected in the people we have here now. A second structural change we made was with the steps. Currently the superior officers only have 3 steps. Most town employees have 5 or 6 steps in each grade that they're in. And we felt there's probably a need to recognize, for retention and really reward purposes, additional steps for the superior officers. So we added steps at years 6 and 9 for both sergeants and lieutenants. And so they'll advance to new steps at years 1, 2, 3, and then years 6 and 9, which will help kind of give them some incentive as they stay within the force for a longer period of time. Similarly, with the patrol, they currently have 5 steps, and we thought there was a need to restructure those 5 steps. There's still 5 steps going forward, but we thought it was helpful, one, for recruitment purposes, to kind of drop what are currently the first 2 steps and start the police officers at a higher step as patrol officers, which would now currently be step C, or was step C in the old scale. So it would help with our recruitment by giving a little higher starting salary. And then we dropped the original 2 steps and then have added 2 at the back end of the scale. So at years 15 and years 25, we've added additional steps. So again, something into the future to kind of an incentive for those who have been here for a longer period of time to help with their retention and reward as part of that. And so that was a pretty significant change. We've added or will be implementing a health and wellness program for the officers focused on cardiac health. It's voluntary, so it's up to the officers to participate. It's very similar to the current program that's in place with the fire, except the fires, I think, focuses on lung health versus heart health for the police officers. We made some small changes to our sick leave provisions, including the buyback provision, just to kind of make it more consistent with the town bylaw. Added some additional stipends, an evidence room officer stipend, a drone unit officer stipend, child care installation officer stipend, and an assistant fleet maintenance officer stipend. All those apply to the patrol officers, but only the drone unit officer stipend applies to the superior officers. We've updated our performance evaluation. So we have a new performance evaluation after about, 10, 12 years or so. So it's kind of got that up to date. And the last kind of big step is civil service. And so it's something I know the town has talked about for many years, to try and look to withdraw from civil service for the purposes of helping with the recruitment and hiring of officers in the department. We were able to agree with both unions to withdraw from civil service. We still need to negotiate the terms of that, which we'll be doing over the next few months once we get the MOA approved and signed. And it will need to be approved at town meeting come next April for it to be official. And assuming we can negotiate the terms and town meeting and approve it, so we've agreed to make a $7,500 payment to each of these officers in connection with that. That payment, as well as the withdrawal from civil service, will have to be is something that would be approved at town meeting, is subject to town meeting approval. I think those are the key terms of it all. I think, again, thank all of those involved. It was a long process, maybe took longer than it could have or should have, I'm not sure, but I think we got to a good result at the end. So I don't know if Karen or Lynn or Chief Jones, there's anything you might want to add to any of that, or if I missed anything, please fill in the blank.
I'll jump in, David. I just want to thank the union leadership of both unions for their collaboration on these negotiations. It really speaks volumes to your character and the way that you carry yourselves every day. Also, just congratulations on a successful contract, and it really speaks to the value that the town places on the work that you folks do each and every day, and the sacrifices that you make. And I think this really is acknowledgement of that, and should really show you how much the town does value uh, what you do every day.
Thank you. Good. Karen, Lynn, we're all good? Okay.
Well done.
Excellent. Well, thank you, David, for the presentation, and thank you to Lynn and Karen for your work on this, and everyone that was involved. I know Michelle, Art, Tom, John Asher, and then of course the police department, union leadership, the chief. We appreciate everyone's hard work and persistence with this to get it right. I appreciate you going over the highlights. That's always helpful. I know Julie and I have both reviewed this. I'll just make a couple of comments and then pass it to Julie. The COLA and equity, obviously those are very much aligned with our personnel strategy. I think that is a way to be consistent and fair. So I'm glad we're continuing to honor that. The changes in the steps and leaving civil service, frankly, I think are very much aligned with our recruitment and retention goals as a town. As you mentioned, David, we want to be fully staffed. We want to be able to reduce overtime and the stress, the 4 shifts that puts on our officers. So I'm excited about that and kind of the potential of that. The steps certainly, I think, will help with recruitment and retention, and leaving civil service, I think, just gives us a lot of more options in terms of our hiring practices. So I'm hopeful that will pass at town meeting, and I know you'll continue your good work on that to negotiate over the coming months. And I'll just say, most importantly, I think this is a fair contract. It reflects how much we value our police officers in the police department and how critical their work is to our town and the safety and success of our community. So again, thank you to everyone involved. I'm comfortable with the agreements and really happy to see the progress that we've made. Julie?
Thanks, Liz. I know I'm coming in at the tail end of all the hard work that's been going on for such a long time. So I want to thank everyone who's been involved in this process, especially the creative thinking about how to make some big changes to how we approach these contracts. So thank you, everyone. And I am appreciative of the work that these contracts will help with recruitment and staffing retention long term, and that these agreements achieve the recognition of the high quality of the members of the Hingham Police Department. So thank you.
Excellent. Any other comments? John or Ryan?
Sure, if you don't mind, thank you. I just want to thank the chief. Obviously, thank you for your support on this. We've always been willing to come to the table with you and be collaborative with you. So we appreciate you kind of embracing some outside the box thinking in some of the conversations that we had. Obviously, thank you to the personnel board. Lynn, my first time working with you on this. David, you and I have done quite a few of these, and contracts are never easy. Yep. And there's a lot of things that go into that, but the one thing we always, I think I can speak for the patrol unit on this too, but one of the big things that we always try to make sure that the personnel board knows and, through the town, is that we'll always be willing to come to the table and, conduct ourselves professionally. We recognize we're one of many. So it's important that the town knows that we'll always be, willing to do that. So again, we appreciate the support. Our whole goal with this contract was to recognize, that we need to think outside the box, but that, aligning with what the chief's goals are, we want to be the most competitive police department in the area so we can attract great people to come here, because ultimately we want the department to grow old together, and we want good people to come work here. And, this is certainly a step in the right direction. So again, David, I appreciate it. It's always been, when we've worked together, it's never been, I've said this to you from the get-go, it's always been collaborative, and you've always conducted yourself like a gentleman. And, we do appreciate that, because we know that it gets tough. And same thing for the chief. We appreciate it, and select board and the town administrators as well. The work you all put in didn't go unnoticed on our end.
Well, thank you. And certainly
Thanks.
this is a lot of extra work on top of your day and night job. But it's a great point. I do appreciate everyone's leadership and just collaborative style of working together. So again, I know it was a hard road, but I think we got to a really good place. So
Agreed.
Ryan, did you want to add anything?
Absolutely. I apologize. I just walked through the door, but I just wanted to echo what John had to say, Lieutenant Marquardt. I wanted to thank the chief and the deputies, the select board and the personnel board, and everyone's hard work to get this done. We have a lot of positive momentum, rolling into this year with the new station and this great contract. So thank you to everyone involved. And I speak for obviously our entire union body. Everyone's very excited for this. So thank you. And we look forward to working with you in the future.
Excellent. Thank you. Any other comments or questions from this group? I don't know if anyone else is on, Michelle, but any comments or questions from members of the public?
No one else is on at this time.
Okay. Julie, you ready to take a vote?
Yep. Let me just pull up my. Okay, I'm ready.
Do you want to make the motion?
Sure. I make a motion to approve the memorandum of agreement with the Hingham Police Patrolmen's Association effective July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2027.
Second. Roll call vote. Julie?
Aye.
And I'm an aye as well. It passes unanimously. Take the second motion.
I make a motion to approve the memorandum of agreement with the Hingham Police Superior Officers Union, MCOP, Local 405, effective July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2027.
Second. Roll call vote. Julie?
Aye.
And I'm an aye as well. Passes unanimously. And I'll just note for the record that Chair Bill Ramsey is not participating today because he would have to abstain from the vote since his brother is part of the police department. Any other questions or comments? If not, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
A roll call vote. Julie?
Aye.
And I'm an aye as well. We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, everybody.
Great
Great
work.
job.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank
We recognize that taking time to visit, call, or email our town departments to report issues in Hingham doesn't always fit your schedule. Are you looking for an easier way to communicate with the town? Well, now there's an easier way. With the My Hingham mobile app, you can submit service requests or gain information with just a few taps of your phone. To get started, simply download the My Hingham app from the Apple App Store or Google Play, or simply scan our QR code to get the access to the app that's best for your phone. Once you've opened the app, select the Submit a Service Request button. From there, you can choose the type of request you want to submit, whether it's a pothole, a fallen tree, or something else. You'll then be prompted to take a photo of the issue and provide a brief description. You can also use the app to track the status of your issue and receive updates. Using My Hingham puts immediate access to town resources in the palm of your hand, including calendars of meetings and events, agendas for upcoming meetings, building permit filing options, online bill payment options, information about our boards, committees, departments, and services. So why wait? Download the My Hingham app today and report issues and get information on town government with ease.